Welcome to Daily Life Connection. Thanks for joining me as we continue to explore the heart of God, learning who He is, who He really is. I said yesterday that were finishing Luke chapter 15, that revelation of the God in the stories that Jesus told. But it's not totally true. I think there's at least another one here, or two maybe, revelations in this story. Looking at the Luke chapter 15 as an overall picture. You see, it begins with Jesus celebrating with and enjoying the friendship and the fellowship of irreligious people. And the Pharisees, the religious people, who felt they were defending God's righteousness and holiness, were criticizing him for it. And Jesus basically is telling the story to say, you're looking at others wrongly. You're not seeing them as God sees them because you don't understand his heart. He sees these people from his heart. You're seeing them from your head. They are not checking off all the boxes of what's right and what's wrong. This is powerful. You're looking at them through the branches of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, what they're doing and not doing, what they're doing wrong, instead of the branches of the tree of life, which is grace. Wow, that's good. That's something to think about for a while. You see, the point of this story was Jesus was saying how you look at yourself and how you look at others is directly tied to how you understand the heart of God and how well you know the heart of God. If you think God's heart is for behavior, righteousness through behavior, then you will look at people like the Pharisees do. You will say, they're wrong. We've got to let them know we're wrong. We've got to show them what's wrong and what's right. We've got to hold them accountable. We've got to stand for the standards of righteousness and holiness, and that's the most important thing. And that drives a wedge between us, and it holds them at arm's length. But if you understand the Father's heart is for relationship, that the Father's heart is to do anything to draw his sons and daughters to himself, then all of a sudden our whole approach to who we are and who they are changes. Our concept of who we are changes. And I think that's Jesus why he's telling these powerful stories, is because he believes it's incredibly important that we see ourselves and others through the heart of God, not through who we imagine him to be, but through who he truly is. You remember back, it started in the Garden of Eden. That was the problem. When Adam and Eve decided to live by the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, basically self-righteousness. You show us what's right and what's wrong, and we'll do it, we'll perform. When they did, instantly they saw God as someone to be fearful of. It said they hid, were afraid, and ashamed. And that's because, you see, they did not understand the heart of God. Their picture of who God was is that if you colored outside the lines, he was going to punish you. And that the most important thing to him was to color inside the lines, to stay inside the body of ethics, the rules and regulations. And that God was very angry if you didn't. And they hid and they were ashamed. And that's been the problem ever since. When we don't understand the heart of God, we will feel ashamed and afraid when we break the rules, when we don't live up to God's expectations. Well, you know what? God doesn't have any expectations of you, because before he created you, he knew everything about you. And so he knew exactly how you would be and what you would do and the choices you'd make. And not me too. And in all of that, he still chose to create us and love us. God, his heart for us was, the reason he created us was not that we would perform perfectly, but that we would be his sons and daughters. And when we see that, how we see others and how we see ourselves transforms. It changes. I can't tell you how strongly I feel about this. I don't have words to really put it into words. It is so critical, especially for those of us who are religious or in the church, to understand that the heart of God is about relationship, not performance. And yeah, okay, we can say, yeah, I understand that, but I don't think we understand the implications of it, the depths of the implications of, if we believe God is a God who's concerned about performance, we will end up like the Pharisees, self-righteous, not enjoying others, estranged and alienated from our culture and our world. And to be honest, I see that in so much of the North American church right now, standing apart from sinners, condemning, judging, preaching at them, rather than getting immersed with them and loving them like the Father does. If his heart is relationship, then the thing we will most want with sinners is relationship. If we believe the Father's heart is for a self-righteousness, the most important thing we will think about sinners is how to get them to perform right, to stop sinning. You see the point? It's that critical. So today, as we go before the Father, I just pray that he will reveal that his heart is for relationships. And when we believe that, when we really believe that, it will change how we think about ourselves and how we react to other people around us. We'll begin to see them with his heart. And it's not my job to change. Here's the bottom line. When I believe the Father's heart is about relationship, I see others not as people I need to change or fix, but as people I can enjoy. As is, where is. I can just enjoy their friendship, their companionship, their fellowship. I think that's a lot to think about today, maybe. But it's good news. It's incredibly good news, if it's true, that the Father desires relationship. That's the most important thing to him. And it changes how we see us and how we see others. Well, let's think about that. If you have questions on, put some comments down below. We'll try and have a discussion about it. God bless.